and then go online, YouTube. Here we are. Cool. Go live. Okay, we are on YouTube now. Hello, everyone. Welcome to Lunar Rhythm with Christine Skinner. Once a month, we will join with Christine, discuss what's happening at this moment. So, what's happening at this moment? Christine, you seem like you are not at home again.
I'm definitely not at home again. And yes, once again, I have extended my visit here. I came, so now we're into week 5 and it could go a bit longer. I'm back staying with my publisher, which
Yeah.
is really, so that in theory, I should be working on the book. In practice, I'm too busy reading all the ones that are behind me.
Talking about that. Yeah, I should editing my book too, and I would just like, you know what? There's a lot of things to do. Yes.
There's a lot of things to do. Anyway, but I want to tell you about last weekend.
Oh, yes,
Because,
please.
right. So last weekend, I took part in the Convergence conference, which was in Orlando. And that was being run by Faye Cochran with Ray Merriman. So it was a hybrid conference. It was a very interesting conference because normally when she does the conference, it's just on vibrational astrology, which is like that's like harmonics on steroids, really. Right?
Okay, yeah.
So, but I hadn't met some of those people before. I'd had dialogue with them, but I hadn't actually met them face to face. Anyway, it was quite but this time she changed the format so that there was some financial astrology, which is okay, but there was also some Vedic, right? And then there were some areas that I'd never heard of before, right? Which I absolutely, right? There is a rising star out there. It was a guy called Christopher Pridham, right? That you have to get onto this because he was stunning, absolutely tremendous. I thought he was one of the attendees. So let me tell you what happened. I was sitting down having a bit of a rest, and this guy was there, and I thought he was just one of the ordinary, as I said, ordinary attendees. So I just was passing the time of day with him, and he said, "What?" He knew nothing about me, absolutely nothing. I wasn't wearing my badge, so he didn't know who I don't think he knew who I was, but maybe he got it from the English accent, maybe. Anyway, he asked me my ascendant. So I said, "Oh, it's 11 Taurus." He said, "Is that exact or is it 11 and change?" So I said, "Well, it's 1142, you know." So he said, "You mean it's 12?" So I was thinking, well, okay, you know, everybody's into something different, you know, blah, blah, blah. Anyway, he then opened up his folder and he then read me a description of me, which nobody has ever done it as accurately. He could not, there's no way he could have known half of this, none at all, right? And my jaw was on the floor. So I said, because it was a bit like a Sabian symbol, but far more Sabian symbol, far, far more. Anyway, he's doing it through some kind of harmonic analysis, right? And it was absolutely spellbinding. Apparently, we're waiting for his book to come out, but let's watch for that one, Rod. But
Definitely.
also tell you he was a superb speaker. So if you can get him on, I think that would be a good thing to do. So anyway, so that was sort of at the start of the conference.
Yes.
My financial workshop was, you know, it was very intimate, this conference. I think there were probably less than 90 delegates, but they were all really high caliber. There were 22 students from the Midwest astrology school, and they were high caliber. Most of the people had been studying vibrational astrology, which, as I said, is the harmonics on steroids. But they were really good, and I got a chance to have a bit of a conversation with Linda Berry, who was quite remarkable. So that was really good. The bit that you'd like to know, you particularly, is that I did this piece about solar rhythms. And it was the first time I've actually given that talk. I mean, it's still a work in progress, but it brought the house down. I mean, it was as close as I've ever had to a standing ovation. It was a really, you know, it's shaping up to being a good talk, that one. So I was talking about how the sunspots are really totally freaky. You know, that day when we had 380, and then I
Yeah.
was showing how that affected Donald Trump, and you know, I was showing all sorts of little bits of things, and the solar rotation. So anyway, it was a really exciting conference, Rod. And I did talk about you at length, right? To
Oh,
people.
okay.
Yeah, I did mention you several times in dispatches because, you know, because if we're going to go global, and you and I are on the same platform next weekend with Wade Caves, aren't we?
Indeed, yes. I think it's the 22nd and the 23rd, right? March, and the World Astrology Summit, and the astrologer from all around the world. You, me, Wade Cave, Deborah Holding, Ling Bell, Tanya Danielle, our dear friend.
Yeah.
It's
I mean,
all very, yeah.
but listen, I hope you've read the instructions. Do you realize that because he's got so many people, what he's done is he's shrunk the length of time we get to speak?
Yeah.
Right. So, I mean, I don't know how I'm going to do a 40-minute one. I've never done that. Right. So anyway, I'm having to really polish mine. Right. I'm doing
Yeah.
mine with new Silk Roads. So I'm having
Yeah.
to chop it from the beginning because I need to do other bits. So anyway, there's that going on. But we need to talk about today. Right. I saw some of the lunar eclipse during the night. Right, here.
Whoa, lucky you. Yeah, you're right in the spot.
I'm
You are where
right.
you
And
can see it.
I'm right in the spot. Yeah. So I mean, it's quite incredible. What I didn't know and woke up to this morning is that March the 14th is
Yeah.
International Pi Day. Did you know that? The International Mathematical Pi, PI?
3.141. Oh, of course.
1.14. Yeah. So I didn't know that, right? And what I did know, of course, is it's Einstein's birthday.
Ah,
So I just thought that was really, you know, like we should be talking about maths. You know, we should be doing a bit of that.
indeed.
So I am going to talk a bit about maths with you because, as I said, I've really got this vibrational hook because I
Hmm.
came out of, if I've come out of anywhere, I've come out of the John Addy, Charles Harvey, Mike Harding
Yes.
route, you know, for harmonics. These vibrational people have gone, I mean, as far as I'd gone as far as probably the 17th harmonic, and maybe I might have done the 25th in passing because I'm interested in some
Hmm.
research. They've gone much, much higher, much, much higher, right?
Hmm.
So they're going 3 digits higher. But the
Wow.
quality of the work and the research behind it is absolutely, it's jaw-dropping. They're a light year ahead of us. Right?
Hmm.
That made me think, I know I'm supposed to do a midpoints thing for you in June, the
Yeah.
first end of June, right? But that
Yeah.
made me think maybe I should be doing harmonics. Maybe we're doing the wrong, or can we do them both? Or can we do 2 days? I mean, can there be two talks? I don't know. I'll leave that to you. I'll leave.
Okay. You
So
suggest I will carry it out.
okay, all right. Okay, well, yeah, I don't want to drop myself in it. Anyway, today there is, of course, this lunar eclipse,
Hmm.
which is with Saturn, as you know, right?
Mm.
So, and of course, it's part of a series, right? So, if you go back to 2006, right, which
Yes.
is, you know, closest mimicked one, if you like, that's
Hmm.
the one that had where Pluto was involved.
Hmm.
And that's where Donald Trump came unstuck with the Stormy Daniels thing. And
Oh.
this time it's Saturn that's got him, right? And I've been watching their news here, which can I tell you is so different to our British news. It's
Oh.
mind, I mean, wow. I mean, they only talk about America, right? They're not, you know, so I have no idea what's going on in the rest of the world. I wouldn't have known about the oil tanker if I hadn't
Oh,
had the BBC
yes.
on my phone, right? And incidentally, Joni Petrie is to be congratulated because she's the one who said that there would be a shipping disaster this week.
Hmm.
So she
Wow.
was her Vedic stuff, but that's pretty awesome. Right? That's pretty good. Um, so yeah, so apparently overnight, many of the judges here are saying no in a big way to Donald Trump, which is, you know, Saturn's job, isn't it?
Yes.
Incidentally, on the note of Saturn, did you know that they've discovered another 128 moons around Saturn?
It
Which
keeps
means
coming up in it.
it's got a total of 280. And
Wow.
I was wondering how many lunar eclipses it got.
Brilliant, brilliant one. I never think about it. Also, I'm like you, a stargazer. I do the, I do the stargazing all day. If I am on Saturn, well, how many lunar eclipses I'm going to have? That's a brilliant one. That's a brilliant one.
You know the Nova Chart Wheels program.
Uh-huh.
I remember when I first got that, you could reset your chart as though you were born on Mars or Venus or somewhere.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
Thankfully, it's not on this machine, but I'm actually quite tempted to go and see what my Saturn-related chart is. Anyway, all that aside, right, I want to show you a new book, right?
Yes,
Okay,
please.
you ready for this? Because this is
Yep.
really you, isn't it? Look, there's the dragon for you.
Well,
Right?
yeah, we're Dragon Dance.
Dragon. Now, this is the most remarkable work. It's big and it's fat. Can I look?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. So, now wait a minute. How does she put this? Let me read from the back. She says,
Sure.
Our birth charts reveal we belong to a heavenly family, a family of dragons or galvanizing lunar eclipse patterns, many of which are ancient and have been returning for centuries to check up on us, their earthly kin. Get ready to meet your dragon family and discover life patterns that have been dancing you through elaborate cosmic steps heretofore unknowable by any conventional means of astrological analysis. So what she does is she's taking you to the lunar eclipse that's close to your birth, for example.
Yeah.
Right? And
Yeah.
seeing, I mean, we're so used to Bernadette's amazing work with the solar eclipse.
Definitely. Yeah.
Yeah. This is different. This is different. And she does this family of lunar eclipses, which goes back just as much as a Saros cycle does, right? But it's a really extraordinary work. I have to tell you, I found it hard going to start with because you have to get into the mindset of it, and I'm a bit slow on the uptake, right?
Okay.
It took me a little while, but once you've got it, right, it's really, because she separates out fire eclipses from water eclipses, she separates
I
that out.
see.
And so
Okay.
she's looking for a kind of family DNA. I think that's the best way to describe it.
Okay.
Right? I mean, it is going to take me time to go through it all and to work it with my clients and different events, but I rather think this is going to be one I want to have on my shelf. I mean, we know I'm always excited about something the first time I've seen it, but actually I haven't. Each time I've gone past this, I've wanted to look at it again and again. Right?
Okay.
And the other thing that happened yesterday was that somebody very kindly bought me the book on vibrational astrology.
Yeah.
Now that's a bit of a nuisance, that book, because it's not available through Amazon.
Oh.
So that's a pest because you've got to get it, and pay for the international shipping and all that.
Yeah. Yeah.
But it's a beautiful book, and very, very well researched. Right, that's David Cochrane's book.
Mm-hmm.
So that's another one that I'm going to recommend. Has this become a book
I
recommending
don't
series?
know.
No,
I think maybe we should get Margaret here involved so she can continue to throw things in.
Well, we need to make sure she's got these books, right? But back to this eclipse, right?
Yes. Yes.
I started to look back on many clients and things, what had happened in 2006.
Yeah.
It's not just today's eclipse that matters. It's going to be accompanied, isn't it, by the solar eclipse, 9
Yeah.
degrees of Aries, which
Indeed.
incidentally picks up on one of the charts for oil, right? Which is that's interesting, because the following day we have the solar eclipse 9 Aries. The following day, Neptune slips into fiery Aries as well.
Yeah.
Right? So we're all of us about to go into a new world. And I sort of feel that these 2 weeks are, well, they're prep time, aren't they? But, you know, because we know the world's going to be different. We know
Different.
that, right? We know it's going to be even faster than it is now. Right? So we're going to have to absorb information quickly. And I don't know. I mean, it at the moment it feels panicky. The markets are off by, like, I mean, it's been extraordinary. I have to say, we all called that right. You know, financial
Yes,
astrology rules, because we were forecasting this 9-10 years ago, saying it was going to be this
indeed.
week. It's the big one. It's just a question of how much the bounce is going to be. I don't think we're finished with the falls yet, because the next full moon, sorry, I'm not being negative in this. I'm actually not being negative. The next full moon is, where is it at? 23 degrees
Should be.
Aries
Yeah,
Libra. Yeah.
yeah,
And I think Chiron is very close by.
yes.
Yeah. So, and Chiron acts as a good corrector. And again, I think, and is it Venus or Mercury? One of them is on the world axis as well. I'm sorry, you have to forgive me, because I've been writing about 2033, so I'm kind of lost. 2025, I'm lost on, right? I'm not living in the present.
Yeah, let me double check. 23, yes, and right next to Chiron. You are exactly right. Right next to Chiron, and well, Mercury is 28-degree Pisces.
Pisces, yeah, it's practically
Yeah,
onto onto the
on
world
node.
axis.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
And of course that's going to have Neptune with it as well. So that looks
Yes,
to me like
indeed.
a really slippy date. Rod, this is not to this isn't to push another book, but just to tell you about something which was remarkable. You may, I can see all the books behind you, right?
Yeah.
But I can't see the one I'm looking for, which
Which one?
is Astrology for the New Millennium. It's a big fat one and it's blue.
Oh, not on
And
my
it's
bookshelf.
right. Okay. All right. It was written in the 1990s by a
Uh-huh.
guy called Meese,
Mm-hmm.
Meece. And
Mm-hmm.
he was writing about the coming years, and you won't believe what he wrote about this first quarter of 2025. Remember, he wrote this in the 1990s.
Yeah.
And he said of the United States that in this first quarter, there would be the equivalent of another Boston Tea Party.
Oh,
Kudos. I mean, wow, right?
wow.
He's done another forecast, which I've checked, and I'm sure he's absolutely right, for August the 9th, 10th. We'll pick up on this later on in this year, but
Mm-hmm.
he's showing how a yod formation then, because we're going to have Uranus and Pluto and Saturn
Mm-hmm.
in the middle, and then there's a day in August where
Uh-huh.
Mars opposes that, so you get this big yod shape, or kite rather, and when that happens, he's seeing that as being like he's described it as a potential Tiananmen Square moment in the United States.
Ouch.
So when you start to think that the last time Neptune went through Aries,
Mm-hmm.
American Civil War, it's
Mm-hmm.
entirely possible that there will be at least echoes of that time.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Now,
It's-
I don't want to be accused of being all negative, right? I don't want to be, right. That's not my kind of astrology,
Yeah.
right? Yeah. And I do think that it's hard to see something really happy and nice about the next few years.
Mm-hmm.
What I do think is that each one of us is building up a spiritual momentum, right?
Sure.
Which suggests to me that what I think is going to happen probably won't, right? Because
Mm-hmm.
it'll be variations on a theme, but
Yeah.
the old rules aren't going to apply.
Mm-hmm.
And just finally on that, Rod, when doing this solar talk the other day, I'd done it in that Carter Memorial thing years ago. I
Mm-hmm.
showed how the
Yes.
sun is affecting all the planets, and
Yeah.
you've got the ice caps melting on Mars, right? Um, Saturn, we've just mentioned with all its moons, the number of X-rays emanating from its center, right, is increasing. So I think something is happening within the solar system itself, which may be to do with the fact that I think we're going past that black hole, which at 19 Capricorn.
Mm.
So it could, I think there are, what I'm trying to say is I think there are other energies coming in, and that maybe one of the gifts for astrologers as such is that we can tune in, or at least try to tune into something that is of a higher order.
Yeah, yeah. To be honest with you, like you say, at this moment when you see what's happening now, or when you see in the astrology the new world is coming, and somehow when you see what's happening in the news, you just you're not easily to get very positive. So that has impact to everyone's mental or
No,
mindset.
yeah,
Mm.
no. On that, if your people want to go today, Sue Keats has produced yet again another superb little piece on astrologynewsservice.com, and she's
Yes.
written just about the pending shutdown of the American government.
Yeah.
She's another little fun. These her nuggets are terrific. They're just 500 words at a time.
Okay. Yeah.
And she, Alex Miller, are pulling a blinder on that. You need to write something for us as well.
Definitely yes. Yeah. I will.
500 words before bed tonight, Rod.
Okay. Yes, that's my homework. I will definitely do it. I promise. I promise. I definitely going to do it.
Okay, so I'm going to come back to the UK in time for the solar eclipse, right?
Okay.
And because you were kind enough to ask before, the 6 module course, right?
Oh yes.
Right. Several people bought it and during the Mars retrograde, and I've used their feedback to make some improvements, which is
That's cool.
great. Which means that we can go live properly with it at the end of April once Mars has kind of caught up with itself. I need to do one re-record of something, and of course I now got this assistant, Julie, and I have to tell you,
Yes.
Rod, she's so lovely. But she's not an astrologer.
Mm-hmm.
So she sent me a very lovely note to remind me that there was a full moon. Which is really, it's fantastic having somebody
Mm-hmm.
who doesn't astro you. She just gets
Uh-huh.
on with doing the job. But
Yeah.
Julie is doing really well because we do our monthly thing next Sunday.
Yeah.
I've got Wade on Saturday. I've got my monthly thing on Sunday.
Yeah.
What time are you speaking for Wade?
Right before you. I think my slot is right before you. I'm 11 o'clock, I think, on Saturday, if I
Oh,
remember correctly. Yeah. I think my slot is right in front of you.
right. Well, I'm really confused then.
Yeah. Why?
Because I'm time confused. I thought I was first on.
Oh,
I
you
need to.
you probably yes. Or may oh no. I'm right after. I'm right after.
Right.
If
Okay.
your
Yeah.
slot is first, I'm the right after you.
Right.
Woo-hoo.
Great. Lovely. So I'm doing the new Silk Roads. So
Yes.
so so I can do a nice type. Are you doing Taiwan?
Yeah. Taiwan and China transformation for between Taiwan and China.
Brilliant. So I can I can make sure the slide at the end of mine leads into yours.
Oh, thank you. That's so sweet.
Fantastic. No. But we should do this. This is,
Yeah.
this is how it should work. So that's really cool. So
Yeah.
I actually might finish mine then with I might finish it with the what do you call it? The semiconductor company.
Oh,
Yeah,
that's
TSMC. Yeah,
TSM. Yeah. TSMC.
yeah. Um, I'll try and do that. I'll have a bit of a juggle round.
Oh,
Okay.
cool. Then
Right.
I can start from there.
You can stop. You can pick it up from there. Well, I should know, but this is nice, And you
Yeah.
and I, we work well together, and we're going to
Yes.
work together in Istanbul.
Oh, again. Yeah, we're going
Yeah.
everywhere this year. So
Right.
yes, it's about Istanbul. This year, Istanbul's astrology conference will be have a Christine and I, Leah McCarthy, Tanya Danielle, Kenan Yassin. Yeah, and yeah, so it's from the 13th of June to the 15th of June. If you want to join us, please welcome beautiful Istanbul.
Yeah, I don't know how good my Turkish is going to be, but anyway, we're going to manage.
We're going to pick a few words to say hello and thank
Yeah,
you.
yeah. We're definitely going to do that. No, it'll be brilliant. It'll be brilliant.
Yeah, definitely.
So
Yes.
how are you going to spend this period between eclipses?
Oh, well, first, prepare a few things. There is the weights talk, and then I have to prepare for next conference is coming up for um the May. In May, I'm going to Portugal and then Istanbul. They are very heavy duty. Also, I want to mention the AA conference this year because I'm going to give workshop about
Oh,
astronomy
wow.
workshop. Yeah. So
Brilliant.
I really want to make it different, make people into the sky. So I'm trying to not just give a picture and say this is MC, how to calculate it. I really want to build up a 3D module to make people understanding.
Brilliant. And will you do a little bit of black hole stuff with that as well?
Oh, why not? Yeah.
Um, yeah, because I'm going to plug another book because Alex Miller, who writes for
Yeah.
us on the Astrology News Service, his
Yeah.
black hole book is very good.
Cool. I'm going to check out.
Yeah, and you could actually reach out to Alex as well. He
Yeah,
would give you
sure.
some feedback on that.
Definitely. Yes.
So,
Cool.
Rod, I got to go and write, and you've
Okay.
got to go and prepare, right?
Yeah. So, well, thank you for joining me from Florida, nice and sunny Florida. Please bring some sunshine back. We suddenly get cold. Tomorrow will be -1 in the night. So please bring some
Well,
sunshine
look,
back.
I hate to tell you this, but I'm allergic to the sun, and you can't. I don't know if you can see, but my arm is all blistered, so I'm having
Oh, poor
it
you.
inside. So
Okay.
although it's gorgeous outside, I can only look through the window, and that's it. So
Well,
listen,
Theo,
but I will bring you some sunshine, I promise. Right.
please, and enjoy it.
I
Enjoy it.
will.
Thanks everyone for joining me and Christine for this lunar rhythm and enjoy your lunar eclipse and solar eclipse. Make it most. Make it most. We only live once. Okay. So thanks everyone. See you next month. Bye bye. Yeah. Stop live stream.